lot of that is going to depend on the game this week as we're looking up against Texas Tech. Now, as far as the odds go, Texas Tech is the favorite from everybody else. We're looking at a 60.9% chance to win is what ESPN puts it at for Texas Tech to win, and BYU at a 39.1% chance. That's not bad, but BYU's been sitting about 50-50 throughout the season, but it's definitely they're making a statement that Texas Tech is going to take them down. But if you look at the stats, that's not really the same message.
Yeah. And another thing I want to point out, too, is the betting odds. These betting odds usually tell the story of how people think this game is going to play out. And Texas Tech, as of now, it could change before the game, but they are a 10.5-point favorite over BYU. So basically, they're saying, all right, Texas Tech is going to have a touchdown, probably 2 touchdowns. They win by 2 touchdowns. They're saying they win by 10 or more. So honestly, I don't think it's going to be that close because BYU has played close games all year and they've won all of those games. But then you're also looking at both of these teams, and I don't think they're too different. Because we look at the quarterback comparison, we have Morton versus Bachmeier. I personally think that Bachmeier has a slight advantage because he's more of a dual threat. He can run it anytime he wants, and he's built like a running back. And he showed last week against Iowa State that he can throw the ball just as well as Morton.
Yeah.
And then Morton can get a little turnover prone if he's forced to pass the ball. Mm-hmm. Texas Tech likes to run the ball. BYU likes to run the ball. But we saw what happened last week when BYU had to throw the ball. We've seen what happens with Texas Tech when they have to throw the ball, and that's when some turnovers start to happen. So that's going to be a huge thing for BYU's defense. They're going to have to force Texas Tech to throw the ball instead of just having them run it down their throats.
For sure. And I say, the biggest thing that's going to be really beneficial is we do have LJ Martin coming back this week. That's been confirmed by Coach Satake. That is a big part of this BYU offense. It's not everything like we saw last week. With him going out in that first quarter, they were able to manage because we have a great receiving core over at BYU. But having LJ Martin on that team is such a huge benefit, and I'm excited to see where it goes here, especially because, they're matching up really, really evenly. At first, I was actually concerned about this Texas Tech receiving core. That was a big concern of mine because they looked really good. And, of course, this last weekend they played Kansas State, and they beat them 43-20. But it's interesting, if you look at how they did it, they were splitting the catches. Kansas State was able to force them to split it. Instead, it's usually Caleb Douglas and Coy Eakin. Coy Eakin had 1 reception, where he's usually sitting around 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I like that because BYU has a great defense. We have some elite linebackers sitting on that line. And so if we can split the carries of Texas Tech between multiple players, we can get them to throw the ball. That opens the way up for our defense in so many ways. And I think they're going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But that's what they have to do.
Mm-hmm. And so LJ Martin, like Parker said, is expected to play. Jack Kelly is also expected to play, who's going to he's one of the anchors of their defense. It's him and Isaiah Glasker. So that's a huge bump up for their defense. And also, BYU just had their bye week. They're coming off. They aren't going to be 100%. They were pretty banged up against Iowa State. Texas Tech isn't 100% either. But both of these teams are probably as healthy as they're going to be the rest of the season playing each other. So both aren't at 100%, but it's going to be a good game. It looks like most of the star players for both teams are going to be playing. So you're going to get a real look at what could be the Big 12 championship game. So it's going to be really interesting because it could be 2 playoff teams right here. Also, Big 12 championship game. We could see these teams multiple times a year, not just this game. And that's also why College GameDay is coming to Lubbock, Texas.
Think about that, right? At the Red Raiders for BYU, we've had Big Noon come to BYU, right? We had recently College GameDay just got done with Utah this previous week, and now they're coming down to Lubbock, Texas with the Red Raiders, where BYU will be playing. Number 1, we're showing a lot of love for the Big 12 this season. I like it. Number 2, BYU is in the limelight in a lot of these presentations, as they deserve to be. they are a great team, and they're showing that, and I think they're picking up on that. There's a lot of steam coming behind the Cougars right now, and I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Those Texas Tech fans better get those tortillas ready with the tailgate, because it's an early game, 10 a.m. College GameDay is going to be there. It's going to be a crazy environment. I think Bear Bachmeyer will be able to handle it. He's gone against some crazy environments earlier this year, but this is going to be the biggest game of the year potentially, especially for the Big 12. And it's one of the biggest games BYU has had in this last decade, along with Texas Tech. It has major playoff implications. And that's also why it is the most expensive game to get a ticket for. Tickets are going around $500 for the cheapest one. So whoever's there is going to have a treat.
For sure. And I hope that they realize that Cougars like to eat tortillas, and they love even more Red Raiders. So we're excited to see that.